All righty, we're going to get started, folks. Welcome. CALLERLAB Convention, Las Vegas, 2011. This is the Sneak Peek panel, and we have some really interesting music lined up for you. I've had a preview, so I have a sense of what's coming. I do want to introduce our panelists. On my far right is Patty Greene. My near right is Buddy Weaver. And on my left, Mr. Randy Dougherty. Folks, the cover sheet that you were given on the handout just gives you an idea of what the panel is really about, what we're trying to accomplish. Excuse me. And we think that music is one of our most important tools, most vital tools to use as entertainers. And if you will keep that part in mind and recognize that everybody has different skill sets. There may be something that Patty does exceptionally well, and you might hear her do it and say, well, I don't think I could do that. But you might be able to use it in a different way. That's one of the reasons we put in the little key code there of more than one way you might use a piece of music. So keep that in mind. I know that early on, there's a newer caller, national traveling caller came to town, and he had a piece of music that I thought was, man, it was wonderful. And it became an earworm. I couldn't get the tune out of my head. And it just stayed that way, for like weeks. But I knew I couldn't do it because it was out of my range. It was too high. I just couldn't do it. But it bugged me. So I finally bought it anyway and went down to the basement. And you know what? I was wrong. I could do it. So don't write yourself off too quick. If something really speaks to you, if a piece of music really talks to you personally, you want to hang on to that idea and find a way to use it because you'll do it better. Any piece of music that really talks to you, you'll perform that piece of music a lot better because it means something more. And even if you've had to work harder to make it work. That being said, I'm going to turn this over and we'll get Buddy to start.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. How are you this morning? I want to preface what I'm about to say by calling myself somewhat of a music snob. I think I've always been kind of a music snob. I've always enjoyed a wide variety of it, but I've always tried to gravitate towards songs that are superior in not only audio quality but instrumental quality. Technology today has finally caught up with a lot of what I've been wanting, and with the ability to have digital files on a computer. I, for example, don't use records at all anymore. I haven't used. In fact, I'm surprised. This is a nice little record player. It's nice. It's an antique, and I don't use records to make my digital files either. I'm somewhat of a snob in that regard, too. I know that when you make a record, you have to go through a copy of a copy of a copy to get there, and then when you put it onto your digital file, you're making another copy. So when I go into my files, I can tell you that probably on my hoedown files, 3 of these hoedowns came from a brand new, never played record. Only 3. Everything else came from a studio master, which comes in the form of when you go to buy a record, when you go to buy a CD or an MP3 file from many of our companies, these are studio masters. And there's a fidelity that comes with it that just pops right out there. So having said that, the music that I'm going to show you is what I call from my road show. These are songs that I've used for years. It's not something that I've just kind of hung around for a little bit, with the exception, I think, of one piece on here, which is a relatively new addition to my road show. At the top of my list is a hoedown called Darren's Hoedown. And this is a good example of using something that would never made it to vinyl. It's only ever been done as a digital file. It is a traditional boom chuck rhythm, which I value strongly for my introductory tip, the first tip to get everybody moving. I think the boom chuck rhythm is needed. And it's a contemporary sound as well. Are we down? Okay, go ahead and bring that up a little bit. We'll feed it. Wow, you got to really feed it, don't you? The volume control plugged in there. That's it? Okay. Goose it. I think so. I think the vacuum tube in this unit is kind of worn out. Contemporary. John laughs. A contemporary piece. Nice, strong rhythm. And in my own unit, I'd probably goose up the bass a little bit to bring it out. It's not an overpowering lead. I'm able to call to the dancers. They feel lively about it. So it just jumps right out there. Another hoedown that is used now, and this is a brand new hoedown. They're going to get an MA-150. It'll be just in time for when I'm done. And don't you just, yeah, that's right. And as soon as I'm done, the next presenters will be using all vinyl records that they have recorded, complete with scratches and pops and hisses, onto their computers and be played through a beautiful system. This next piece is called On Cue, and this is an MP3 only file, and this is available from Bob Elling at Riverboat Records. And this is a relatively new addition to my collection. This is a shuffle rhythm with a Latin feel to it, and it is actually done from an old Kalox hoedown, which I used many, many years ago, and it has been redone. Neat piece. Nice piece. It's a contemporary instrumental. It's got live pickers in there. It's played in somewhat of a country form. The lead drops in a few places where you actually have just nothing more than percussion. I want to jump around. That was built in this century. Pardon us for a moment while we switch equipment. There you go, a little bit better fidelity. Much better. Okay, can I do? I'm going to do one more hoedown. Then you want to do an insert?
No, stop.
Okay. I'll stop.
All the pre-prepared handouts have been given out. We don't have enough, which is great. The home office has right with them. They have a digital copies. They can make copies for anybody that needs them. By the same token, if you're sharing with a partner and somebody else really needs one, might you volunteer it? But they won't help with theirs. Right, so that's kind of the idea. All right, so we have some extras. Anybody need one? People are volunteering? No. Okay, we're good now. We're good for now. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And the other thing is people were asking earlier, is everything available? They're all good, Randy. Everybody's got them. Everything that the panelists were all told, they couldn't present anything that wasn't available in some format. Right? Obviously, not everything's available in all formats, but there would be no point to give you something you can't get. I do know that at least one of the tunes that they've offered you comes in, I think is it a platinum? Is in the platinum collection from Royal, and I know that one is from Riverboat and their newer group purchase of a bunch of records as a group. You had to buy them.
He's got a 78 that you can't get anymore.
Yeah, but you don't want it because he folded it to put it in his case.
Yeah.
So, thank you, buddy. Go ahead.
I have found a great use of my old record case. It works well when you jack your car up to change tires. You just shove that record.
You want to start over now?
I'm going to go into another hoedown, and then I'm going to come back and just revisit these briefly. This next hoedown is called Riverboat Reel, and it's also in Riverboat. And talk to Bob Elling; he'll sell it to you individually. He's a neat guy to work with. This hoedown is unique. It's a 6/8 rhythm. 6/8 rhythm, for anybody who's familiar with rhythms at all, was a very common rhythm in traditional square dancing up until the early 1940s, and then vanished from square dancing. And over the last 30 years, I have heard so little come out in the way of 6/8. And 6/8 has a unique dance feel. I don't want to go into a lot of rhythmic ideas, but you have a shuffle, you have a boom chuck, and you have a 6/8. It feels different when you're tapping your feet. In most cases, a 6/8 will cause you to do more than just tap your feet and kind of have a whole body movement effect. It does one more thing, too. A 6/8 for presentation skills is going to force you as a caller to call the cadence differently. Now, I've presented 3 different hoedowns of 3 different rhythms: a boom chuck, a shuffle, and a 6/8. And in every single case, the calling will be different. Cadence is different. Walk all around the corner, lady, then you seesaw around. You're on a joint hand and circle to the left around. Easy, boom chuck, shuffle. Walk around the corner, seesaw around your own. You gotta join a pan, circle left to go around the ring. Left down the man and do the right, the left grand. A grand round and a left. I can't go a lift, the left hand over that. That rhythm's not going to allow it. And I do the same thing on a 6/8. If you don't change your cadence, this rhythm will kick you in the back. Walk all around your corner, girl, and then you seesaw. Join all your hand and circle left. You circle a fade around the ring. Left down the man, and here we go. Right, left, grand, or right, left, around, or right, left, around. You go, you meet, and promenade her home. And as a caller, I sound different every time I come up there. Every time the dancers hear me do a patter call, oh, that's different. That's different. I can't, or I choose not to move vertically with level and difficulty. I choose to move horizontally with musical variety. Okay? I'm going to wrap up real quick. I'm just going to run through these singing calls. How much time do I have, John? Am I okay? Am I okay? Singing calls are pretty straightforward, and these have been in my roadshow for a long time. Love grows. This is I call this a contemporary sing-along. It is something that everybody hears and everybody knows it, and as soon as you put it down, everybody gets it. Circle left. Oh, she ain't got no money. Her clothes are kind of funny. Her hair is kind of wild and free. Left down a man here, no, do side with your own, and not a jet star. Left hand, you see. Your partner, lady's waiting, turn through, no hesitating. Left down a man, return and promenade. Because love grows where my rosemary goes, and nobody knows but me. Everybody sings a song. The neat thing about singing calls, and these singing calls that I've chosen, is that the lead is there so that I can make this square dance version sound like the original song. I'm not going to hash call my way through an element left for the corner, do-sa-doom, and on the moonstar left. Because then it just sounds like I'm doing a hash call all night long. And the dancers are just bored to death listening to you do hash calls all night long. A singing call is there so that you can actually sing. Sing and adjust your vocal cadence to the original song. Your partner laid is waiting, turn through, no hesitating. Now that follows the original song. There's a nice little modulation on this piece at the very end. I'll just jump to that right quick. I love key modulations. The nice thing is the lead drops a lot prior to the modulation. It's not a big jump. And the closer, there really is no tag. You just kind of hold your note and sing your way out of it. A contemporary country piece is called Sin Wagon. I don't mention who did the original song because most people don't want to hear about them. It's been that way for a few years, as a matter of fact. The digital form of this, I don't mean Dee Dee. I mean the original group that sang it. I'll talk about... I'd be happy to talk about Dee Dee. I can talk about her all day long. The Dixie Chicks. Yeah, them. Did this use this exact piece? And this came from Waydriver, and this digital file is available out there. Any of you can get it. Go to dosido.com, wherever. And I was doing a festival in Japan, as a matter of fact, in Tokyo, and I've just finished this tip. And I walked off the side, and these Japanese callers, about 4 of them, came and said, "Why does your version sound different than ours?" And it was because this is the digital file. It didn't come from a record where they took a record, bought the record, and then put it onto their computer. The guitar riff is out of this world. Am I supposed to? I asked John, am I supposed to sing this to give an example? And John says, if you can. I'll do my best. Circle left, well, I've been good for way too long. Found my glide rags and put them on. Left out of man the corner, turn partner right around. Do a left on the man, you call the girl, and you weave around the ring. Oh, praise the Lord, pass the ammunition. I want one more helping of what I've been having. Taking my turn on a sin wagon, and I use that drop out of the lead on purpose. I back off from it so they can hear the lead drop out. I drop out. Coming?
Isn't it impressive that he did it with all the words, and he's never done it before? I was just so amazed, you know. I would offer an alternative in terms of that piece of music. If you like it, and if you don't feel that your range will let you do it in that fashion, and you don't have the skill set to drop down and to do it in a lower key, or you don't have the technology to do pitch shifting, it works really well for patter. That will work as a hash record as well. So there's more than one way to use it.
Why ruin a good singing call record? This next one is a sentimental favorite of mine. This has helped me make it through the night. And Patty says, okay.
She's ready.
I hope my wife is not listening to this recording. I remember my father used to sing. He used to sit with a guitar and sing the song. He used to sing on live country radio, and this is one of the songs he used to sing. And this is the Elmer Sheffield version of it. Nice live pickers. It's not a real strong in-your-face number. It is a moderate energy level. It's got a nice key modulation, which we won't jump into. But if you sing it, you can croon it. You can have fun with it. You can do whatever you want with it. Take the ribbon from your hair. Shake it loose, let it fall. Gent star right around the square. Allemande the corner, weave the hall. Come and lay down by my side till the early morning light. All I'm taking is your time. Help me make it through the night. It jumps high in the figure part. And I like to mess with the dancers. And I'll say, oh, head square. Ooh, it's kind of high. Ooh, I don't know if I can hit that note. Okay, you know, and I'll just kind of call my way along, you know, swing through, and then the boy run round and around. Half tag, swing your corner, promenade away. You know what, I think I can hit that note. Wait, give me a minute. I think I'm ready for it. Side, space, grand, square, I don't care who's right or wrong. And you just kind of go right into it. But, you know, I'll spend 2.5 minutes just messing with the people. Oh, I don't know if I can hit that note. Ooh, it's a little high. Ooh. You know, they just and it just kind of takes something somewhat serious and makes it a little silly, which is kind of nice every now and then.
But try not to hurt yourself.
I never hurt myself. Okay. Red, Red Robin. I love this song. And of all the stuff I ever did on Blue Star, this is my crown jewel. I had my hands on this one from the very beginning. And it has what I call just the happiest music you're going to find out there. And it's a sing-along. Oh, when the Red, Red Robin comes bobbing along. I left Allemande the corner, girl, turn your partner by the right. Allemande left, weave around the ring. Come on now, wake up, you sleepyhead. Get up, oh, get out of bed. Cheer up, the sun is red. Live, love, laugh and be happy. And let it go into it. It has a key modulation, but it also has a pizzicato part. Pizzicato is plucking the plucking of a stringed instrument. Stop laughing, John. This is unusual in square dance music, except for Booster Records. Pizzicato. And then it transitions into a nice little modulation. The last one on here, and I'm going to move on because I've taken enough time, is El Paso City. Huh? Really? Okay. I was going to say, the only thing I want to say about El Paso City is that it's good for singing called Anna Hoedown. It's a nice 6/8 piece. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you, buddy. Patty.
Can I borrow it?
Would you like me to turn it on for you?
We're in Vegas. My name's Patty Greene. I'm from Monroe, North Carolina, and I'm not as much of a music snob as Buddy is. However, for me, music has to just make me tap my feet. And if I'm listening to music, I know pretty much if it's something I'm remotely interested in, if I'm still listening to it by the end of the sample. If I can multitask and I'm still kind of listening to it, then that's a piece that I pick. The first one is Rig-a-Digga. What? Patty Greene. Oh, I muted it. I muted it so I wouldn't. And I like to start the dance with this one because it's got kind of a happy beat, and you just want to smile and go through. And for me, when I'm starting a dance, it's important for me because you start moving. And if the dancers are moving on your first tip, the odds are they're going to be moving with you at the end of your dance. And for me, that's very important. And it just kind of floats along, and there's nothing really too crazy about it, but it's kind of happy and makes you want to tap your shoulders and help Buddy make it through the night. Oh, heckler. I do a lot of different patter music just because it's kind of fun and it's different. And one that I've had for a really long time that I started pulling out again is Brooks and Dunn, My Maria, which it's not really a fast song, but people know it, and they love to sing it. And when it gets to the point where it goes, Marie, you know, if you can time it, and as a caller, if I can sing with the Brooks and Dunn, the dancers just... But it's kind of a smooth... It's not something you necessarily want to do anything too difficult, but you do want to make sure that you time it right, so that when the choruses come, they can do that right and left brand and sing along. And a right and left brand, and the dancers will sing because they're familiar with the song, and you have them, which is good.
It might be worth noting, here's a piece of pattern music with voices. And the higher the voices, generally, especially for the male callers, the higher the voices in the background, the easier it is for the dancers to actually hear the caller over the extra voices. But if you've got a piece where the voices might get in the way, you need to know your music well enough to know that's when to back off that volume so they're hearing you and getting your command and then bring it back up. You notice how Patty timed that, the right and left grand, to where they could then go into the jump and let them enjoy it. So you really have to know your music when you're working with stuff that has voices. Just worth keeping in mind.
And with some of this type of music, boy, if you can hit it, I mean, Ted, you'll attest, if you can hit them, it doesn't matter if nobody's ever heard the song. The dancers will respond, and they will love it because they feel like they're really dancing and they're kind of participating in an experience. Steve finds a lot of music for me, which I think is great. I have a researcher. And I've been trying to find things that are instrumental, that are kind of current, but kind of have our square dance sound. And one of them is Bella Fleck and the Flecktones, who I really enjoy. This one has a great banjo, and I've slowed it down quite a bit because I'll play the regular tempo in a minute, but it's kind of got that traditional sound to it, but I really like his banjo, and I know it's real instrumentals. What? As I was. And again, it's traditional, but you can be a little bit different because you're not doing a standard square dance song. The actual, let's see if it'll work. This is the actual tempo that this song is. Oh, you could you? Which is really quick. But if you slow it down, it still sounds really good, and my feet tap to it, which I think is half the battle there. I just think that's a really happy song. One that is used a lot in our area is Last Night. And there's a very popular round dance to this song, and using the DJ Chris Anderson remix version, but it's originally done by the Marquis, and even their version is a good version, I think, for square dancing, and the dancers really enjoy it. This is the original Marquis version. And when you put that on, people from my generation, they're like, oh, I didn't know you could dance to that song. But it's just got that. You could do something a little bit more tricky. It doesn't have to be simple. There's no words. It's just a fun, people really respond to it. Now, contrast that to the current contemporary version, which I don't care how old somebody is. My experience has been when I put this piece of music on, even the stodgiest ones, their feet tap. It's hard not to use it 5 times a night.
Right.
Same song. But it just makes you wanna move. And it's got some definite phrases. See, I can see some of the people's shoulders are already moving, and you're already in your head. You're kind of, I could use that. I just really love that song. Yes.
If I could, that's a popular round dance, as you mentioned. And it's pretty cool when you can tie in some of your square dance music to what the round dancers are doing, because the round dancers, if your cueer's not using it that night, most of the round dancers have heard Last Night, and they enjoy it. And some of them enjoy it more as square dancing. In fact, I've often made the comment that it's a shame that they're wasting good music on round dances.
Patty Greene did not say that. That was Buddy Weaver.
You have to also keep in mind the group that you're using it with. I've tried to use that with my retirees in far Texas, and we're way off, far away from being online. So
you must have old retirees, because my retirees love it.
My retirees, when they come up after I've used that, I can't repeat what they tell me about it. But keep in mind that you have music in your repertoire for all kinds of different groups.
Well, it is pretty much a judgment call. I don't have it on the list, but a new song that I've started playing that personally I love is a version of Mustang Sally. I just really like that song. And it's a sax plus 2. It's like a practice tape for saxophone, where one of the versions has no saxophone so they can learn how to play it. And the dancers usually enjoy it. And I put it on the other night, just like I would always do, and instead of people really enjoying it, I'm, in my own little happy place, doing what I'm doing, hoping I can get the, time the all you got to do is ride, Sally, ride part, and I did. All she's got to do is ride, Sally, ride, and all of a sudden, everybody on that dance floor went, ride, Sally, ride, and I thought, wow, when you find a piece of music like that, and I never would have expected that club to react in that way to that song. So it is a judgment call. And the next time I go down, you can bet I will be using that patter record again.
a good giveaway if you're not reading people's faces, but if you hear a comment somewhere in the back of the room where you hear somebody say, "Somebody get a rope," that's generally a giveaway, that you want to move on to another piece of music. Yeah.
I'm moving. Yeah, I'm riding. Stop. Leave me alone. I'm trying to give a presentation here. So, I have found that I've shifted my singing call inbox, for lack of a better word. And I'm pulling out a lot of chestnuts that are older songs that we don't do very much anymore unless we have a special occasion. Your Grand Old Flag is one of them. I had a patriotic dance, and when you have the patriotic dance, for me, if I have a theme, I like to participate in what the theme is. So I get all the patriotic songs I possibly have, and I hope that I can remember them from the last time I did them. And in the past cycle of dances I've done, whenever I put this one on in particular, the dancers have really responded to it. Nothing really special. I think it's a great piece of music. You're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. And everybody sings, the land I love, the home of the free and the brave, element and weave. Every heart beats true for the red, white, and blue. And everybody knows the song. And on the tag, I get everybody to sing. Everybody sing. Don't be forgot, keep your eye on that grand old flag. And it's nothing spectacular, except it's really good music, I think. And it's a scratchy record. Apologies. Some of us don't have the digital masters at our disposal. But the dancers really love it. And so I've been calling out some of these really older songs before my generation. And I'm finding that the dancers today are responding to them because they like the chestnuts. One of the calls in our area heard this next song. I think it was a European woman did some remix of Tennessee Waltz. Oh, the original version? And he fell, the German version, right? He fell in love with this arrangement of Tennessee Waltz. And I'll tell you, in our area, the dancers love this song. And you can start it out with the bow to your partner, and they look at you, a part point. So, yeah, kiss the girl across from you, which you never get to do. What? Leg crawl, yeah. And then it gets going. Yeah. It's a different beat. Side, space, grand, square. I was dancing with my darling to the 10-10 Tennessee Waltz when that old friend I happened to see. And the dancers really enjoy it. Now, as a woman, when I do this song, if Steve is dancing, I can use this as a showman because it's all about, my friend stole my loved one from me. And I'll go, Peggy stole my loved one from me. She's somebody who dances with Steve a lot. But the dancers just really kind of move to this. It's a familiar song with a different beat. And this is the original that they got that from.
Well, two things. If you'll give me the plug, please.
Oh.
Two things. One is that I really like that piece. Our dancers are in love with that piece. They can't get enough of it. But I use it as patter. And there's a neat thing. If you have a piece that dancers really like and you really like, you can use the patter more often if you don't want to use the same singing call week after week after week. But you can sneak in that patter a little more frequently, especially if they like it. Okay. I hear there's a hi-hat version on the way. Is that going to be today?
You have a new version?
But I'm going to play for you what...
Is it going to be any good?
What this piece... it's going to be not... It won't be scratchy, I can tell you that. Yeah,
that one's not... Yeah, it won't be scratchy. That one's not scratchy.
Okay. Run my volume here. This is what that was based on. I saw the YouTube on this, and basically this German gal is, she's a packaged product as far as being a country western singer. I mean, you look at it, it's just right down like a checklist. The hair, the walk, the strut, the whole thing, and she's great, but it's obviously well prepared. But here was what people got excited about on this. Started the same way. That is not in there. Tennessee Waltz. Did you understand that? So obviously it's in German. Sing to this. Yes, you will. This, people love it, you know. Yeah.
And actually, you could
Obviously
use that German version here in the States because people aren't going to understand what she's really saying. I'm not being sarcastic, but they're not going to understand what they're saying. So it's not like you have a lyric that people are listening to here that they would understand.
Yeah. And I know a number of callers that will use that version for patter as well, and the voice doesn't seem to get in the way for them. I pick and choose. I prefer the one that Patty used on JRR for the patter. It's not quite as busy, but it has the same feel. And we're going to come back to everybody soon. We have time to do a couple more tunes, but we're going to get everybody an opportunity first. So we're going to have Randy go up next. And in case anybody's wondering, I don't tend to present because I've presented this panel like 3 times. So now I just moderate. This is like the 7th year we've done it. So I know it's habit. You just reach out. 42 years it's habit. Trust me. I don't know. I don't. Does that work?
But Buddy's trying to set the needle on the turntable for those of you who can't see what he's doing.
Obviously, older callers have trouble hitting that. See, Buddy, you want to try? That's why you went to digital? Because you couldn't find the groove? Okay, right, there you go. All right, here we go. Let's move on. We're going to move off of the showmanship panel now and move back to the music panel.
Thank you very much. Can you control the knob since you're so... No, don't let Buddy touch it. Just keep your hands to yourself. Okay, 3rd page, that's me, guys. The very first one I have out is Fiddler's Hoedown and Roadhog. I'm always, shopping Goodwill and Salvation Army, and here you can get 2 for 1, so that's why it's on here. It is available on a CD and MP3 through Palomino. It's Pioneer number 5029. This is when Tracy Brown redid some mixing on this. See if it's going to play. Again, I have a lot of traditional stuff. I consider this an opener type pattern. Got a nice little banjo, even though it says Fiddler's Hoedown. A little more bottom, a little more bottom, a little more of the other stuff too. I can't hear a thing because I have an earache, so. But I use this as an opener, okay? On the opposite side, when you flip the CD over, you'll get this one. Turn the knob, would you please? This is the Roadhog, which has been recorded many times on many labels, but again, it's a 2 for 1 type thing. It's available on other labels, which we won't mention, but I can't hear it, so I couldn't tell you. Seriously, I don't even know if I'm on beat when I call anymore. Well, you're calling the right area then, aren't you? Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, the next one is, you can turn it down now. Okay. The next one is, again, a traditional piece of music, which I love. I love fiddle and banjo stuff. And this was when Milton Luttrell started out his label. And for years and years and years, you couldn't find this song. It was a piece of red vinyl record. You have to stop this here? Is that what you got to do? This is my first time doing this. All right, this is called Giddy Up Sam, Square L 603, traditional patter. Turn the blue knob. How come it's not playing? That's the one we just, that's not it. They all sound the same, don't they?
You notice that Randy's taste kind of gravitates towards the same kind of music.
Kind of hated it when we went from vinyl to these things. There it is. This is the Giddy Up Sand, Square L. This is available only on a CD, though. Can't get it in red vinyl, and can't get it as an MP3. No, I did not know that was Johnny Gimble. I know there's only 3 people playing on this song.
That's Johnny Gimble on the fiddle. Johnny Gimble did all of the fiddle stuff for Mountain Luttrell and all of the early K-Lock stuff. And Johnny Gimble is an award-winning fiddle player who's still very highly sought after, but no one in square dancing can afford him anymore. And that's Johnny Gimble playing the fiddle in there. Nashville. Yeah.
He's out of Nashville. He was the one that Chaparral used for years and years and years and years and years and years. The next one is Let's Get Loud, which was a singing all on Solid Gold 218. And where did that go? Here it is. This is available on vinyl, CD, or MP3. And got that samba rhythm. All right, the next one I have is, again, on Solid Gold, LaGrange. This is the ZZ Top version. Let's see. I like this one. Although the introduction sounds kind of repetitious. Let's see what it plays. I've speeded this up to 137 on my Square View, and I've knocked it up a couple of notches. And it sounds like it's going to go like this for quite some time. I time it out. I think I have to count 8 beats to start with, and then I do a grand square. If I'm at a plus dance, I then do a teacup chain. And then after another 64 beats, when that's all over with, right about in here, then it kicks in. If you get it timed out just right, it's really fun. The dancers really like it. Square through heads! They take off with it. How do you make this stop? I forgot. There you go. Thank you very much. The next one is, again, 2 for 1. I need to tell you a little bit about it. It's the last one, LaGrange, is also vinyl, CD, or MP3. The next one is Honeycomb Fiddler and Thumpin' Banjo. Sounds like all the rest of these I've played. It's a fault line, and it says front line. I checked with Palomino. They do have it available, but only as an MP3. Okay? Only as a... The actual label is Fault Line. It's Rico out of California. Is he plugged in, or is he... Okay, anyway, here we go with these. And you notice I put down over on the side, they were like a good workshop type record for me because... this one is the... is this the banjo one? I can't hear it. Oh, this is the fiddle. Here it comes. Oh, well, that was a fiddle, wasn't it? I can't hear a thing. Now, on the, again, it's a 2 for 1 type thing. So here's Thumpin' Banjo, if you like it. Is it? Can you tell us the banjo? Okay. It is probably slow. I'm playing it through my media player, which I've never used before. But on Square, when I do Square View, of course, then I speed it up some. That is slow. I assume all of you can change the tempo and the, what's that other thing called? Pitch. Yeah, pitch. Yeah. The next one is a CD that I actually found. through the help of a lot of callers through the websites. This is called Waves of Bondage. Bondi. Waves of Bondi. Remember what Mike was talking about trying to figure out a shift? This is a shift back to working with like young kids. If I'm working with young kids or a one-nighter type thing, or even younger adults, if they know it's a square dance, I'm going to use this because this sounds like the traditional square dance music. But also, it goes into almost like a clogging type of effect too. This is a CD that I bought online. I paid $2.99 for it, and I got about 10 songs out of it. It's about the Bushwhackers, an Australian artist, and again, it's only available on the CD. I like it. On that same one, again, now this one, you're going to say, this is corny. We're not going to use this for our group, but depending on the group you got, Jimmy Crack Corn. It's called the Heel and Toe Polka. So for a couple of bucks, I ended up with about 10 patter songs off of that one Bushwhacker album. And again, this would probably have to be slowed down a little bit. This is the Barn Dance. What rhythm is this? Which is called the what? Shuffle 4/4 rhythm, but dancers will almost march to this. All right. Would you like to say something?
You made an interesting comment. You said dancers will want to march to it. Dancers instinctively want to dance a 2/4 boom chuck rhythm. I don't know if you know that. All dancers will instinctively try to dance it. And if you put on a shuffle rhythm, they're going to modify their step to that boom, boom, boom. And thus, if you use a lot of boom, boom, boom throughout the night, eventually the dancers stop modifying their step to it and they just start walking, walking, and walking. And then they'll take one step for every 2 boom beats. And now you have a very rhythmic movement. So, but it's nice that you brought it up because that's an interesting point about how dancers will move to the music.
This is going on at Singing College now. This is on Fine Tunes by Eric. This is a good starter offer. I have more requests for this one in my case than a lot of other ones I've had. This is the Alan Jackson song that was Song of the Year in 2005, 2006. It's got a lot of words, but it's worth trying to learn it. A G with an O, O with a D, T and an I, M and an E, and it spells good time. Now, I've got that pitch way up for me, and I've got the tempo up from what they recorded it, if you're interested in that. The next one, A Late Night Lovin' Man. I need to get back to... Where did this thing go? I got to go back up here somewhere.
No, that's not the issue.
Oh boy, hold on. Sure.
Phil who?
Phil.
Oh,
I got it.
he's with us. Never worry.
What am I looking for?
Late Night Loving Man.
Late Night Loving Man. GMP.
Is it a shuffle?
Right now it's really silent.
This is Mike Bramlett song. Sides, face, grand square. Don't get me a watered down whiskey. I seldom ever get those blues. This has got some great piano little fills. Right there, there's some nice piano. Don't be singing over This is Good Time was available as a vinyl, CD, and MP3. Late Night Lovin' Man is a vinyl and CD. Okay? Come back to me.
Yep. All right. We're now going to start the rotation again because everybody has a few more things. No problem. And we've got time, so we're doing well. Here we go.
If you're wondering, I have my a sheet up here that has what it's available as, vinyl, CD, or MP3. It's a separate sheet up here. It's not stapled. It's a trifold. If you want it, it's up here on the stage.
Don't laugh. I know. Okay, so we're going to come back to, okay, we're starting the rotation again. El Paso City, then. That's the only one I didn't cover. And I want to make a comment about El Paso City because that is available as vinyl and also CD, and they're different. The vinyl record is different from the CD release. The CD release, actually, we went back and found the original studio master. It was done by Ernie Kinney back in 1922. And there you go. Have you all met Ernie Kinney? He is the oldest square dance caller in the world. In the Dead Sea Scrolls, it describes his first dance. And, like Whopper, too.
Somebody told me he was a waiter at the Last Supper. Is that true?
No, they wouldn't let him in. And, but this, all kidding aside, this is Ernie's crowning jewel. I think Ernie really hit the nail on the head when he did El Paso City. The figure is cool. The figure is usable to this very day. The music is awesome. And just by sheer luck, I was able to get hold of a studio tape, which I think came out of he's deceased. Jack Murtha's widow had the original studio tape, and which had a lot more mandolin in it. So I use this for singing call. I can't do it near as good as Ernie can. From 30,000 feet above, I see El Paso there below. Left down the menu corner, little Sado around your own jet star. Left now, I'm going to call in a cue, almost call ahead of the beat. I want to lead the band. And the reason why I'm going to lead the band is because in 1976, when this song was done, dancers dance a lot quicker than they do today. There's a lot greater dancer mobility. And so I've adjusted for the dancer mobility by coming and cueing just a bit ahead. Four lady chain straight across the ring. You turn the girl, you chain her back again. Now ladies in back-to-back and men, you promenade once around the outside ring. Left arm, you do paso by the Rio Grande. And on you go. I've modified it with groups that struggle with the ladies chain across and chain back if they get a little dizzy. And I'll present it this way. Four ladies, star right, right hand star, full turn around and turn your own. Then put the lady back to back and menu promenade. And all we're doing is like a lady's chain 4/4. A lady's chain 4/4. And it eliminates one courtesy turn. And if you have gents, the gents get dizzy, by the way. The gents get dizzy on that figure. And if you can kind of judge and assess your floor, and if you think they might be getting a little dizzy, then back off on that lady's chain across and chain back. Give them a lady's chain 4/4. I love this for a hoedown. It is a 6/8 great hoedown. Walk all around your corner, girl, and then you seesaw around, you circle left around the ring. Now, ladies in the men's sachet, go element left, element bar, go right, go left, boys back in a hoop and a holler. I'll slip the crutch left down the man, and then go right and left, grand or right and left around the ring. You meet and promenade back home, and dancers dig dancing to that beat. If you as a caller have never called patter with a 6/8 rhythm, my challenge to you is go home and do it. Brothers and sisters, if you've never done it before, it will be a challenge for you to master that rhythm. You will find your mouth moving in ways you never knew it could. And you will have to move your mouth in those ways. But once you get it, hit it once and every evening. 1 6/8 hoedown every evening, and watch how your dancers stay till the end of the dance. That was the first thing I noticed when I started introducing 6/8 hoedowns right around tip number 4. All of a sudden, at the last tip, I haven't lost anybody. And I thought, well, what is this all about? It just added a little bit of excitement that no one knew. And I couldn't figure it out either. It just works out that way. No, I don't want to revisit the first one on new equipment. Okay, well, and by the way, Darren's breakdown is named for Darren Galena right here in the audience. And he's the fellow who did the. It's actually on a CD which has a hoedown and a singing call. And Darren did a wonderful job of first thing every morning and the last thing every night was a singing call on there. And this is the hoedown that he did on there, which is Darren's breakdown. So shout out to Darren. I keep on my computer probably around 4 different 6/8 hoedowns. And so I kind of go through it each time. Hang on. My broker's calling me. Okay. My pool's got a leak. and I do carry a couple. I mentioned earlier there's about 3 records that I actually turned into hoedowns. And you've heard me use my music now, so you can kind of tell the difference between. This is actually from a record. No, between what I would. This is from a record. I haven't touched a tone. I haven't touched a tone at all. This, by the way, when I do record records onto my computer, I go out and I find a brand new, never played copy of that record, and I put it onto a turntable which is belt driven, so you don't get a motor hum, and then I'll just take it and clean it with a little thing called I can't think of it. It's like furniture wax. It removes a lot of the static from the record, and just get one good clean play. But it's just never going to be as good as the original. It just never will be. Yeah, dust sprayer.
If you quit using a square needle, it'd be better.
You know, I put a new vacuum tube in it too, and it's just okay. Can I do one more? Okay. This is actually we're saving this for the alternative music session, but I think in our old days, we used to consider alternative hoedowns. We're using singing calls for hoedowns. That was our idea of alternative music, and this one is on. Is Maybelline on the Royal record pack? It's on the Royal record pack. I love this for a hoedown. Okay. Oops. Put the needle down. Stop it. It's Bum Chuck. We'll walk around the corner, girl, seesaw around your bum, to kind of join up and circle. And you know what's neat about Bum Chuck? Call to the chuck, chuck, chuck. Don't call on the beat. I call on the bottom. Walk around that corner, girl, seesaw around your bum, they're going to join up and circle to the left and around the ring and down and right and left on your left hand. And here we go, and right and left, right and left, around the ring and meet your girl in the promenade round. Call on the every time. That's a challenge. Try that. You can't do that when the music is going boom, boom, boom. So, thank you. That's all I have. Miss Greene?
Okay. So, I asked for this song for a long time, Song for a Winter's Night. It's a Gordon Lightfoot song, and again, it's nothing particularly quick, but the dancers really like it. Sides face grand square. The lamp is burning low across my tabletop. The snow is softly falling. And if you're a singer, it's a kind of a great song to use in the winter months. It's not Christmas, but the dancers sing along. If I could only have you near, swing your girl and promenade. I would be happy just to hold the hands I love on this winter's night with you. Dancers really seem to enjoy Gordon Lightfoot. I'm going to play a Blue Star because I use Blue Star at the end of my dance because what? Well, I do send him home with a smile. With the square dancing. Oh, with the dancing.
He means the dancers smiling.
The dancers smiling. Yeah, I'm not going to make it through this night, I'll tell you that much. It does. So, I've been trying to expand my music to include things that are a little dirtier. And well, no, I mean like musically wise, like like this one. More bluesy and just, you know, you can kind of growl it. This is House of Blue Lights. Circle left, kick up your heels, and we'll come on down to the hopped-up shack on the edge of town. And it's what I really like about this is coming up, there's like here we go. Oh, there's fryers, broilers, and Detroit barbecue ribs. Well, you're gonna spend the rest of your life. And the dancers, I didn't know the song, but in the Carolinas, apparently they know the song. So I put it on thinking, oh, nobody's gonna know this song, and they're all singing. And I thought, man, I am so not from the South, but I really like that song. And what? Round dancers, yeah. And I do use a lot of Blue Star at the end of my night because I really like Blue Star because they're kind of older, and the ones I pick, older songs, they have kind of nice music and nice thoughts to send your dancers out. And I have two favorites, but I'll play my recent one. I really like Young at Heart. Fairy tales can come true if it happens to you. And the dancers really like that. But my all-time favorite is Like a Wink and a Smile, because it's just got that. Oh, ladies, chain across the ring, you turn your lady there. You roll away and circle left around the square. It's just got that happy, and it's got a great figure that's a little different. Alaman left and then you weave around the ring. Well, you can't have a dream. He's making fun of the scratches. Swing your girl around and promenade, you bet. Oh, honey, we go together like a wink and a smile. And the dancers really respond to it. I use the figure that Buddy put out with it because it's a little bit different. Of course, but it's your record. I'm just trying to give you props. But the dancers enjoy the figure because it's a little bit different. I may have to coach them through it a little bit because they're so used to squaring through a certain set amount of times, and the men don't like to stand still. But it really gets them laughing, and they'll go out the door singing that song with a smile on their face, and that's my job, to find something during the night, some piece of music that they're going to keep singing. That's entertainment. That's entertainment, Stephen.
It's worth noting that dancers will know that, and people who don't know it will pick up on the tune very, very quickly. It really speaks to people. But if you're not a singer, you can talk that one with no problem at all, and the people will appreciate it equally well. So it's one I would highly recommend you add that. There's a lot of ways to use it, and people really feel it.
Okay, going on to my singing list. Moving On, Chaparral 329 by Gary Shoemake. I use this one because it's a song that everybody knows. And I get if it's not a train song or a truck song or a country western song, I don't do it. So, anyway, here we go. You got the knob? That big eight-wheeler rolling down the track means your true loving daddy ain't a-coming back. I'll be moving on. It's got some real nice music to it. It's only available as a vinyl, though. And then the next one I have, well, we'll skip down to 6 Days on the Road. This 6 Days on the Road is by Matt Worley, Crown number 144. I have two different versions of this. This is the more of a rock, country rock type one. Head out of Pittsburgh, moving down the eastern seaboard. I got my diesel wound up and she's running like never before. Again, it's a song that people relate to. They've heard it before. So it's in my case. I do it a lot. Now, on the same tune, a different label, this doesn't have that real hard rock to it. This one you can't get is the problem. This one was on buckskin or rawhide at the time, I think. Okay, and then the other one I have there listed is I Got a Feeling on Riverboat. You want to hear me do this? I just recorded this. I was very happy with the way it recorded. I did this mainly for Bob because he wanted something he could use with kids, teens. And I didn't know exactly what kind of a figure I was going to put to it, but the figure is just using like the first 10 calls on the list. It turned out rather well. I don't know how many people will be able to adapt the figure to it. This is by the Black Eyed Peas, the group that did the Super Bowl halftime. They did this song, and then they made a medley of all the other songs they did. And I'm not going to try to sing it because I can't even hear it. So, but I was over in Japan right before the earthquake, and they don't know what I got a feeling that it's going to be a good day. They don't understand the English words. A lot of them don't. But I had them up off the floor, jumping and clapping. And you thought I was going to have somebody interpret what jump was, but I got them jumping. I got them clapping with their hands up in the air. And this is that kind of a song. No, I didn't rap to it. I couldn't rap if I tried. But anyway, it's one of the, and even the retirees like this one. You know, the line that I used was "Get off that sofa, get up, let's have a good time," something like that. There's a lot of words to it, and you have to kind of pick out the ones you want. But that is available on Riverboat. Now, surprisingly enough, this one is a patter record, and you can buy this anywhere, Kmart. I found a site called Fiesta MP3. I give them $20, and I still have $18.75 on my balance. And most of the songs are a nickel, a dime, 15, 25 cents. And this is where I got this one, Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. Now, this is quite a bit slow from what I would use it. Again, I'm playing it on Media Player and not my Square View. It's from the album that Michael Jackson did, Thriller. I downloaded it for a dime. Very slow there. And then this one, Mission Impossible. Again, I downloaded this one. I did just the opposite of this. I had to slow it down. But it's got some really nice stuff in it. Usually what I do on this particular song, I know it's not supposed to be a showmanship thing, but I tell them, okay, face your corner. Join both hands. If you accept this mission, it's to get me through this next tip. And if you or any of your armed force are captured or killed, the Secretary will disavow any knowledge of your existence, and this tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Boom. Take off. And they get a kick out of that.
Let me comment on that. What Randy said was that, he knows this is not a showmanship panel. It's a music panel. However, there's always overlap. You can't get away from it. But I don't know if you've been paying attention, but how well do you think these panelists know their music? They can dial right to one spot and say, now this part coming up here is when we're going to have a modulation. This part here is where we're going to have this piece of this instrument playing in a certain way. And okay. So it's worth noting that you've got to know your music and what it's about. Even something as simple as Mission Impossible that Randy's saying, okay, it's not showmanship, but it's tied directly to the music. And people relate to that. And you can using your music as an entertainment tool, so you're always going to have overlap of that. And it's a smart thing. Know what your music is about, know what it talks to, know what the song's about. I remember a very good story. It didn't happen to me. It actually happened to Bob Fisk years ago. And it was Rockin' and Rosalie's Boat, major hit. And Bob told me, he said it was new at the time. And he said at the end of the dance, this little old lady came up to him. She was somewhere between 70 and 200 years old. And she looked up, and she's a little lady, and Bob was a very tall guy. And she looked up and said, Mr. Fisk, I want to ask you a question. He said, is that song dirty? Rockin' and Rosalie's Boat. When I think about that,
It was.
Duh. So, you might want to be prepared for the questions that follow along with your music.
Comment in the back? Go ahead.
You know the artist there? It's Dorn McBroom from Maryland. Do you know the artist of that version? Because there's a lot of versions of Mission Impossible out.
Yes, come up and tell me, and I have it in here. I don't know how to find it, though. This is stuff that's kind of off the cuff. This one is Funky Town, and it's, again, I downloaded it off of Fiesta, and it is the fitness version. Can you turn it up? This has been released on Square Dance labels a lot, which are good, but this one, there's spots on here that just the Square Dance labels haven't captured. And if you don't like vocals on top of you, then you don't want to use that. But my seniors like this. You never know what they're going to like. What they didn't like that first time or last time, whatever it is, but they like this. That was Funky Town. And the other one that they seem to, that I like is the Sha-La-La version. My seniors are in their 70s and 80s. Yeah, well, that's a teenager in our area. Once you get through all of this stuff, and you got a beat there, then it's nice. And they can dance to this. Yep, okay. I leave the volume knob. I leave the volume knob all the way down. And yeah, because if you play this, is the knob down? Oh, there it is. All of a sudden, you see facial expressions like, and they say, "We're going to dance to that." They think it's one of those kids on one of those record things doing a disc jockey thing,
And, of course, for those of you that are technically astute, and you're using digital, you can actually clip that.
Thanks a lot, John.
It might be worth noting, however, that it takes a long time to do that. And I can tell you, like Randy, I have a number of pieces that we talk over that part of it, or I start it before the tip starts, and I start to square them up. So, if I haven't had time to go in and do a splice on it and loop it.
It's easy to clip the beginning. It's when you have to clip the middle that's harder.
Yeah. And I say that like I really know. You've all met Mary, my wife, Mary, my technician, who understands all of that stuff. And they're talking about rap over here. The only thing I know about is rapping a Christmas gift, and that takes 2 hours. So I'm not a rapper either. So we're going to do a little bit quick, and then we're going to wrap up because I know lunch is coming. So do either of you have something you guys want to share real quick? If not, if anybody wants to have comments or questions, we can do that as well. Q&A. Well, that didn't take long.
FAQ.
This won't take long, did it? Do you have a theme piece? Okay.
So, has anybody ever had to do a salad dance? That's the theme, where the club has a lot of salads. We have a club in our area that does a salad dance. I'm curious, how many of you, if the club has a theme, how many of you try and find songs that fit the theme? It can be challenging. So I got hard to do the salad dance, and this is what I came up with, and the dancers actually liked it. No, I don't do Lady Godiva. Okay, you're all laughing, but I'll tell you, they just just kind of dance to this, and they go through, and I'll preface it and I'll say, okay, this is the salad dance, and you guys know I try and participate in the theme. I've already done green, green, green for lettuce, blah blah blah. And I'll say, this is a salad song. They will laugh.
I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this.
And during the song, I'll barter with them. I'll say, what's a poke?
Down there we
really
have a
such a
plant
thing
that
as poke
grows out in
salad?
the woods and the fields. Looks something like a turnip green. An old girl lived down there and all they had to eat.
It's got a really long intro, but then it kind of gets going.
Where the alligators go.
Just something if you end up having, you kind of have to be creative with some of the themes that the clubs throw at you.
You done? I think. Well, we don't. I want to make sure everybody's had a chance to have questions or any pieces of music you want to share or tell us about that one of us might have up here amongst our stuff to play. Nothing. Okay. Buddy, did you share one more last thing before we break for lunch?
Okay.
Patty says he does.
She's poking me to say something. Only thing I was going to add. And I assume that you folks all have a big collection of music on your computers or in your record cases when you pull it out from underneath your car. And but you change your tire. For me personally, when I go out and do a dance, I'm going to come into one of two categories tonight. I'm either just dead tired and I've been out in the sun all day long, and I'm just going to rely upon just the old standards where I'm not going to have to push it. But I know the people will like it, and there's going to be other dancers where I'm coming here and I'm going to push not necessarily the dancers, but myself. And there's a great tendency among callers now that we've kind of gone towards pushing ourselves towards greater degrees of difficulty in choreography. But we don't push ourselves in musically. And that's where I would prefer to be. I want to go out there and take a song that's going to push me in a different musical direction. And especially you've got alternative music. I'll be brief on this one. Go ahead. Hey Soul Sister. Hang on a second. Yeah. This is the hoedown. That's not the hoedown. This came from the internet. This actually came from Walmart.com. All my internet stuff comes from Walmart.com. Go type in Hey Soul Sister. This is a dance mix of it. And the vocals are laid back, and it's nice. The dancers respond to it. I have dancers who say, oh, yeah, my grandkids listen to this music all the time. As a hoedown, it's great. Did you want to keep looking over my shoulder? And as a singing call, the ESP version, I think pushes me to do something I'm not used to. Side face, grand square, your lipstick stain on the front lobe of my left side brain. I knew I won't forget you, and so I went and let you blow my mind. 4 lady chain said, hey soul sister, chain that lady home again. Turn your own promenade around the land. Hey soul sister, I don't want to miss a single thing you do. That's the high end of my range. If I sang any higher, only dogs would hear it. But it forces me. When I heard this, I said, I'll never be able to sing this song. Never be able to sing this song. It's way out of my range, way out of my league. And I heard Ken Bauer do it. And I said, heck, if Ken can do it. Come on. So and practice. And it, like I said earlier, I expand horizontally, as a lot of callers do. And I'm sorry. I expand horizontally mute. Hey, shut my microphone back on. That is on ESP, and it's probably available next door. But if not, you can get it. It's on CD. That is the digital version, by the way. There's no cracks, hisses, or pops on there. Okay? Thank you. So there's your 2 versions of it.
Hey Soul Sister on ESP. Yeah. Bob Elling, you may have to get it from Bob, I'm told. Okay, good. A couple of quick things. One, don't forget when you're filling out your critique sheets, if you like the panel, you think this panel should be done in the future, please make note of that. I want to thank our panelists, Patty Greene, Buddy Weaver, Randy Dougherty. We thank you so much. Have a great convention. Have a good lunch, and we'll see you in the floor.